In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the upcoming winter, as well as some differences between El Nino, La Nina, and what I think the winter forecast will be. So starting off, there are some pretty big differences with El Nino and La Nina. El Nino, which is what we had last year, is when the waters in the southern Pacific and the equatorial Pacific are warmer than average, whereas La Nina, you get them colder than average. This is a natural climate pattern. We were in an El Nino last year. We are currently going into a La Nina. It's projected to be moderate, and so the models will adjust accordingly. There we go. And as you can see, this is just a graphic looking at basic El Nino versus La Nina winters general pattern. And you can see El Nino tends to be warmer out west, jet running across. La Nina, colder, more dumps of cold air in the United States, drier out west, drier in the southeast. And see, this is what the winter temperatures looked like 2 winters ago. You can see not really much happening over the United States, and this was last winter, so you can see the last 2 winters have really been unbelievably warm across the entire United States with not very much winter weather to speak of. There were really 2 main events in the last 2 winters. There was the epic cold in the Northeast in February of 2023. This was the only day that felt like midwinter the entire year. The rest, this was after the warmest January on record. A few days after this, we get a record cold spell. Mount Washington had the lowest wind chill ever recorded in the United States. And as you can see, very cold temperatures plummeted their way further south to the coast, below zero even in the coastal regions, which is very hard to do. And then we also had this epic Arctic cold spell in January of this past year, 2024, and as you can see as I play this forward, you can see how the United States average temperature on the 16th was 9 degrees. 9 degrees! That is unbelievable, and there were minus 40 and minus 50 degree temperatures in Montana, Wyoming, and this was a massive cold outbreak that really lasted for a while, and January 2024 was a very cold month outside of a very warm winter. And as you can see, I plotted this graph. This graph is the snowfall departures the last couple years in the east. As you can see, nothing to speak of in the southeast, and lots of below average outside of the southern Vermont mountains and some of the Berkshires. You can see snowfall is running well below average the last 2 years. In the southeast, Texas, you can see basically nothing to speak of. In the plains, it was more of a mixed bag, but generally, the further north and west you got, the more snow you've gotten, because the storm track has generally been in this direction, going this way. The real winner has been the west. The west has gotten storm after storm the last couple of years. Troughs diving into California, and with that, bringing heavy snow to the mountains out west, where they've enjoyed 2 straight years of unbelievable snow, and yeah. So moving forward, this is just one model projecting out what temperatures are going to look like for the winter. Starting in December, you can see the cold over the top, warm in the southeast. Move this forward, gets a little colder in January. Move it forward again, and the cold, you see the theme. Cold over the top, warm south. I think this warmth is overdone, and I'll get that to our analogs in a moment. And then it pulls off a little bit in March, but you can see still the cold over the north in the general idea. So I went back and I looked at analogs to this year based on the multivariate ENSO index. This is just a plain simply, this is an easy way to look at whether we're in an El Nino or La Nina. There's other factors, obviously, but this is just for simplicity's sake, this is what I looked at. The years I came up with were 1983, 1984, 1995, 1996, 2001, 2000, 2001, 2005, 2006, 2010, 2011, and 2017, 2018. For the winter, you can see the temperature departures. Obviously, these were all very cold winters, and you can see the general theme. That's why I think the model trying to promote warmth in the south, it's probably not going to happen. And we look at the precipitation. Now, one thing we see here is it's going to be drier here in the southeast. May get wetter in the northeast. And what does that mean? That means increased chances for blockbuster snowstorms. Breaking it down month by month, you can see December, the cold, the warmth, more of the same. It's pretty much exactly the same. December was a pretty dry month outside of the west and some parts of the northeast. Moving to January, you can see there's kind of a ridge over the top here, and that's where you get storms sliding underneath, and that's where you can see New England a bit above average, southeast still below, and the plains kind of similar. Moving into February, this is where a ridge may develop, but I think again this can be knocked down in some cases, especially if you get a negative NAO to develop. And look at the precipitation departures. Now this is the month where I expect we can see very big storms, and the precipitation anomalies prove that. Now, here I'm going to go over 3 storms that happened throughout all of these analog winters. The first was the January 6th to 8th, 1996 blizzard that targeted all of the big cities. Boston was kind of on the fringes, but New York, Philadelphia, Washington, Baltimore, everyone got in it. Massive snowstorm. Category 5 Nissus storm. Then we have the the post-Boxing Day Christmas 2010 storm. You can see buried New Jersey, parts of New York, Delaware, all the way up into northern New England, and you can see this was another monster storm. And then there was the January 4th blizzard in 2018, which saw a record cold spell dump into the country. There was, you can't see it on this map, but there was snow down in the Carolinas. Savannah, Georgia got like 4 inches. Charleston had their second snowiest day ever. And this was a monster storm for all of these coastal regions, which haven't seen a lot of big storms. So the point is, I think that we can see bigger storms this year, and we can see them further south in the coastal plain. And I think areas right in here that haven't cashed in on big snowstorms in recent years, I think you should be in a better position. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. This is right weather, and I will see you later.